Welcome to the road to 1 million US dollars, and let's get right into the Bitcoin chart for today, starting on the 1 week time frame. And here we are still breaking out from this bearish flag pattern, which has a confirmed price target all the way down at 52K and at 45K in the Bitcoin price as well. For now, the base case on the channel is very simple. Even if we get some kind of counter trend bounce here, the base case expectation is that we are eventually heading down for lower prices, with the target being 52K and even being 45K in the Bitcoin price as well. Now, the point of invalidation is sitting from 87,000 all the way up to about 91K in the Bitcoin price. 87,000 because that would invalidate this bearish flag pattern, but also 91K because from a market structure perspective, currently we are still making lower lows and lower highs. However, if we're breaking out above these highs right here, then we are actually seeing a change of character and could even start looking for a further continuation to the upside from there. Now, taking a look at the short term for Bitcoin, currently we're still just chomping sideways on the 6-hour time frame, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Basically, we're trading in between this range, sitting from 74K at the highs all the way down to 60K at the lows here. And basically anything in between here is just some choppy sideways price action for the most part. However, there are some things to look at on the 2-hour time frame here. Recently, we broke out of this descending broadening wedge. From there, got a big move to the upside. However, right now on this 2-hour time frame, we are seeing a bearish divergence coming in, which is when you have higher highs in the Bitcoin price and lower highs in the RSI momentum indicator. Now, this doesn't have to mean that we just need to immediately crash to the downside or something like this. Typically, a bearish divergence plays out either in the form of some choppy sideways price action or potentially some bearish momentum. However, a bearish divergence also has a point of invalidation. And in this case, the point of invalidation lines up with this area of resistance sitting at about 71.5K. So if you start to see candle closes above this level, first of all, that would actually invalidate the original bearish divergence that we have here. There is still the possibility, if we are not making a higher high in the RSI yet, that if you start to get a marginal higher high, then you have a new RSI divergence to basically draw here. So a new bearish divergence. But if you're new to divergences and stuff like this, I recommend just spending some time on the free trading course. You can find the link to that in the video description because I explain all of it in there. And for today, I don't want to spend too much time explaining divergences. Either way, that is a bit of a short-term warning signal to look out for. The way I'm trading this right now is that I'm simply not taking any long positions so long as we are not trading above 71.5K. And even if we end up getting a move above, I am using the 71.5K level as a point of invalidation for some kind of short-term long position. Because, for example, if we just get a marginal higher high followed by a rollover and a break back down, then very likely you will have a bearish divergence confirmed here in the chart again. And you're breaking down below this critical area of resistance, and possibly at that point you're also breaking some kind of ascending trend line like this. So there are basically just a bunch of warning signals flashing at that point. So I will use this level to manage my risk around. Next, moving on to the Bitcoin ETF flow tables. Yesterday we saw a net inflow of about $160 million flowing into the Bitcoin ETFs in a single day of trading. Now you can see on the right side column here that this is a big change from these two massive outflows that we got at the end of last week. So I'm just going to keep tracking this every single day, basically see if we get some kind of trend going on here or if these Bitcoin ETF investors are just flip-flopping every other day. Lastly, taking a look at the 3-day time frame. In my last video, we were looking at this upside liquidity to possibly be grabbed if we broke the descending trend line. I think it was somewhere around here. So we ended up getting the break and then took out a bunch of upside liquidity. Right now, in terms of the most important areas of liquidity, there's one pocket to the upside sitting at 72K. And there's a pocket to the downside sitting at 68.2K as well, even some at 69,000. So for now, what I'm doing is just being a bit cautious with taking those long positions once again, meaning that my bias, so long as we're not trading above this 71.5K level, is that we are more likely going to take out that downside liquidity first. So either way, this has been today's market update. Thank you very much for watching once again, and I will see you tomorrow in the next one.